morning everybody, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. It is now Wednesday morning. Good morning. I'm here in my flat in Rochester by myself. My sons live a long way from me, so I'm on my own. My son used to have a car, but you know what it's like living in London, the car park charges and everything. He decided to give his car up, and when you're in London it's far easier to travel on the train and the tube than keep paying expenses for cars, which is understandable. Most people travel around London on the tube, don't they? They go from stop to stop rather than keep using cars. I live in Kent, right? Yeah, and it would be handy to have a car, but I've never learnt to drive, so I walk everywhere, or I take the bus, or I take the train. I took the train up to London on Friday to see my son. If I've got appointments, if it's a walkable distance and I can walk the distance, I'll walk it. Otherwise, if it's like somewhere like Bluewater, which is a nice big shopping centre, I'll take the 700 bus to Bluewater. Yeah, cars are handy, but they're also expensive. Obviously you've got the car insurance and you've got to keep topping up the petrol, and if the car goes wrong you've got to take it to the garage and it's expensive, MOTs and everything like that. And okay, it's great to have a car, but you know, if I was that in need of a car, I could get an Uber or a taxi. So there you go. I'm saying this because since my son made a referral to social services to me, we have had somebody's son keep picking them up and taking them out in a car, and it's right in front of my window. Yeah, what is that supposed to make me feel like, you know? What's it supposed to make me feel like? Angry? Upset? I do think it's being done deliberately. I'm not going to wake up in the morning and jump up with joy. And it's something my son said to me. And it does feel like I'm wired, like somebody is listening to everything I'm saying. Before this chap kept coming up to these flats and picking his elderly mother up and helping her down in the lift and helping her into his car, my son said that he probably wouldn't get a car again. He said that to me in a conversation, and there you go. This is what happens. Someone's son is picking them up, she's elderly, struggling, and he's helping her down in the lift into his big car. Also, my mum said something to me about my other son who's getting married soon. He's engaged. And hopefully I'll be able to go to his wedding. Anyway, she said, oh, you know, what she said to me, because I want to move. I've had it up to here, living in this place, being mocked, ridiculed, and fucking struggling myself. And she said to me, oh, what about your other son? Can't you go and live with him? And I'm sure my son would love me to live with him and his future wife. And I don't want to spoil that for them. What I want is to move somewhere where I feel safe, where I'm not bullied, where I could just be left alone to get on with my own life, right? This to me feels like a soap opera, a wicked soap opera, and I'm always the one that's suffering and you know, feeling shit. So, good morning everybody. I'm going to try and keep a smile on my face, but remember, this sadistic pig doesn't want me to be happy. The whole point is to make every day of my life miserable, and I don't know who it is, but they must be really evil and horrible. I'd like to meet them face to face. I really would, because they must have such a horrible life, trying to make every minute of my day miserable. It must be horrible for them, especially when I smile and I go outside and I don't give a shit. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. On this day in 1978, the original patent for Velcro expired, and it started being widely used in everything from shoes to space shuttles. It's really stuck around.
Alexa, what's the time, please?
Good morning, Crystal. The time is 8:05 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
Today is Wednesday, the 2nd of April.
Alexa, what is the weather outlook?
Currently, in Rochester it's 9 degrees Celsius with clear skies and sun. You can expect more of the same today, with a high of 13 degrees and a low of 7 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
Can a kangaroo jump higher than the Empire State Building? Of course. The Empire State Building can't jump.
And Alexa, who was born on this day? Alexa, which celebrities were born on this day?
Celebrities born on the 2nd of April include Pedro Pascal, Michael Fassbender, Jesse Plemons, Rodney King, and Marvin Gaye.
Alexa, who was Marvin Gaye?
Marvin Pence Gaye Jr. was an American singer, songwriter, musician, and record producer.
Alexa, how old was Marvin Gaye?
Maya is 45 years old.
Alexa, is Marvin Gaye alive?
Marvin Gaye died on the 1st of April 1984 in Los Angeles, California, USA at the age of 44.
Harry, that is a pillow, okay? That's not another cat. It's not another cat, it's a pillow. Once again, good morning everybody. Lovely, lovely Wednesday. The sun is out. I don't know if it's warm or cold. It was cold, chilly yesterday. So I don't know until I go outside and walk Max on the Rochester Riverside field. This is Rochester, Kent, Medway. My mother lives in Chatham. She made a phone call to me yesterday afternoon. She didn't in the evening, so she must be okay. We haven't had a call in this morning so far, because I've made it plainly clear to my mother that this game is going to stop. It's all going to stop, and I'm not changing my mind. I'm not going back to being cross and miserable and they're all happy. This game is going to stop, right? I'm not having any more of it. I've had a word with a social worker and I've made it plainly clear that I do not like living here. I don't like what's going on. It's affecting my mental health and my overall physical health as well, and I've had enough of it. I'm not sitting in my flat giving in to people on WhatsApp, whether it be businesses in Uganda or America. I don't speak to people on TikTok. It's all been blocked. And this is all that's been going on. Yesterday, WhatsApp message from a business in Uganda. No, I'm not sitting indoors giving you photographs. I need air, I need fresh air, I need company, I need to get away from this toxic environment. I'm not a machine that pumps out photographs to give to people for free whilst I'm in my flat with a broken fridge and freezer. It's not happening. So, the guy upstairs has gone out early this morning. He came in about 5 last night. No, 7, sorry. It was 7ish. I'd gone out at 6, between 6 and 6:30. And when I came back from walking Max, he was in about 7. He was in. And he'd parked his Ford Mondeo outside the flats down the bottom. I don't drive, I've told you that. If I did, I would go for a drive somewhere and get away from this place. So I came back in, he was in. I just block everything out now. I just put the Alexa on and I put the TV set on and I just block it out and I don't listen to anybody. I just block it right out. The only thing that is going to help me now is to get out of here. It's got so toxic and so horrible. I just don't want to come home to this flat anymore. I don't like it. It's not the flat itself, it's the atmosphere inside the building, around where I live. I just want to move. And as for writing things in the diary, enough is enough. I don't want to live in a fairy tale. I don't, everything wrong is happening to me. I'm not meeting anybody. I'm not really going anywhere and moving forward. It's just going round in circles, the same old repetitive, horrible crap. I don't want to write down who's died or what nasty things have happened in this world. It would be nice for something nice to happen, you know. Yesterday we get told it's awful April and all the bills are going up, and I'm sure that really makes everyone feel happy. That doesn't help to people's depression, does it? Finding out the bills are being, this is what's going on. No one's got anything to look forward to and people with mental health are suffering. And the elderly and the disabled are having money taken away from them. And some of them are being forced to go to work. You don't know how many suicides there have been because DWP have pulled the screws in on people. People have committed suicide. People have died of starvation. They won't give you the statistics. They won't give you that. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
Unlock exclusive features and content from LBC and even join the conversation.
Send a comment to LBC.
Just say, ask Global Player to link my account.
Henry 12 after 8, listening to that. Mana Mostagim, who's a PhD researcher into reproductive rights at the London School of Economics, and also is a national executive member of the organisation Abortion Rights, joining me now. How much threat do you think free speech is under? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. I think it should be important. It's important that we reiterate that 88% of people in the UK, according to a YouGov poll in March 2024, support the right of people to have an abortion. Mm-hmm. I think what's under threat is not free speech, but the right to safe abortion. So just going back to what Kemi Benedok said, it's important to know that abortion is actually not safe, legal and rare in this country. Abortion is still a crime in this country, and since 2002 we've had a 200% increase on the prosecution of people having an abortion in England. So I don't think that free speech is under attack. I think the right to abortion is under attack. And also to respond to Henry's points about it being different in terms of protests in this country, I think it's important to evoke what Dr. Tony Sullivan, a guest this morning said about keeping our NHS public, that there are delays in treatment. When you protest outside an abortion clinic, not only are you delaying treatment for the people who are seeking care, and there is evidence of people having delayed abortion care, you're also harassing NHS workers who are under-resourced and under pressure at the moment.
Just to come back to the point, you can have legal abortions in this country, Manna.
Yes, you can have a legal abortion in this country, but I think it's important to know that abortion is still a crime in this country.
In what way?
Under a law 1861, Offences Against the Person Act, abortion is still a crime in this country.
Surely that was overridden by the Abortion Act of 1960.
No, you'd be surprised. And I think this is a really important fact to know. So since 2002, abortions are still a crime in this country, and since 2002 there has been a 200% increase of people being prosecuted for having abortions, self-managed abortions in this country. There's been an imprisonment.
Let's come back. Okay, well, I need to. Why can't this woman stand silently outside 150 metres away from an abortion clinic in Bournemouth?
I think, again, what you were reiterating to Henry and the questions you asked, Henry, is really important. Why can't these people pray elsewhere?
Well, that's not a protest, as Henry said, is it?
Yes, it's not a protest, but again, we also respect the right to privacy when it comes to health.
Well, it's 150 metres away.
It's 150 metres away, but it wasn't 150 metres away. If it was 150 metres away, she would be outside the buffer zone. 150 metres away is outside the buffer zone. And if she had complied with 150 metres outside the buffer zone, then she wouldn't have been arrested and facing prosecution.
But why do we live in a country where she can't just stand silently holding a sign 150 metres away? Do you support that, do you?
I do, yeah, and I would like to reiterate what Pam Lowe from Aston University said. This is a misuse of prayer, and I don't think most religious people, including myself,
misuse of prayer. How can you misuse prayer?
I'm a religious person.
Okay, I'll ask again.
Often use prayer.
As a religious person, how can you misuse prayer?
I'd like to reiterate. I've actually had a family member who faced attempted imprisonment. Attempted what, sorry? So, I'd like to reiterate something. Right. I am a religious person. Yes. I find it a misuse of prayer, because to use prayer to harass somebody who is seeking to...
How are you harassing how are you harassing by standing silently? How is that harassment?
Okay, so harassment is multiple. We also know in cases where people who are...
Let's just limit it to this woman in Bournemouth. No, let's limit it to this woman in Bournemouth. How is she harassing anyone by standing silently with a sign?
According to a BPAS report into an...
No, my BPAS reports. How is this woman in Bournemouth harassing anybody?
I'm just restating with facts.
I'd like you to explain. How is that standing silently with a sign? How is that harassment?
Who are conducting silent prayer have reported to people and have violated people's privacy, who are seeking...
No, this woman in Bournemouth, you won't address that, will you? I keep asking. How is that harassment by standing silently? It's not, is it?
No, it can be, again,
How is standing silently harassment?
Standing silently in terms of people who have in the past have misused their...
No, I'm talking about this woman in Bournemouth, this particular campaigner.
You're going to keep on interrupting me, then I can't really get...
Well, you're not making sense.
Because you keep on interrupting my point, which is, really simply, if these people have been protesting silently with prayer, that's one thing. But we do have evidence wherein...
But that's now we're moving away. I will leave it there, because you're saying we do have evidence of other cases, and I have tried to restrict it to the woman in Bournemouth, but I'm grateful for your input. Manna Mostagim is a PhD researcher at the London School of Economics and is a member of Abortion Rights. We're 17 minutes after 8 already. Come to this after the LBC News headlines from Thomas Watts.
The Education Secretary, Bridget Phillipson, says the UK is entering a challenging period ahead of Donald Trump's announcement on sweeping trade tariffs. Israel's defence ministers announced the expansion of the military operation in Gaza, and the Hollywood actor Val Kilmer has died aged 65. LBC weather, dry with plenty of sunshine, a high of 17 degrees.
LBC travelling to our web, so many problems on the M25. Firstly, clockwise, there are long delays to the QE2 bridge from junction 29 at the A127. That was after an accident that happened earlier. Then 2 problems on the Surrey stretch. Clockwise queues from junction 12 at the M3 to 14 at Heathrow. And anti-clockwise, it's slow from junction 13 at Staines to 10 at the A3. And that was after that car broke down earlier. Very busy on the M3 northbound up to the M25 junction, but that's because a car has broken down. Also, severe delays on the M1 southbound to junction 5 at Watford. A van broke down earlier. It's now been recovered, but it's still very slow. On the trains, Great Western Railway can't run between Gatwick Airport and Reading.
LBC.
It's the most wonderful time.
Are you a smart booker or a silly booker?
Alexa.
Smart bookers get access to
Alexa.
a 3 airport lounge by
Exit.
bookers. Well, enjoy those queues at the bar. Stop booking around and visit onthebeach.co.uk.
Conditions apply. 7-night minimum stay at one only from selected airports for up to 6 people, adult protected.
On the beach. Call Nick Ferrari now. 0345 6060 973. LBC.
You know, people ask me, what's my good place? It's in the garden.
Sorry guys, I think I heard that news presenter say that Val Kilmer's died. That is sad. A great actor, Val Kilmer, has passed away. That is really truly upsetting. Anyway guys, I hope you all have a great day, but that is quite upsetting for me because I followed Val Kilmer. He had a very hard struggle in life. He battled cancer. See you later.